Money doesn't always look like sports cars, Rolexes, or luxury condos. In Sweden, it often looks like a small, quiet apartment, a second-hand car, a modest lunch packed from home, and, strangely, a lot of financial peace. In a country ranked the fourth happiest in the world, according to the 2025 World Happiness Report, you'd think you'd see more flash, more look-at-me wealth. But no, because in Sweden, there's this idea called Lagom, and it's changing how people live, save, and succeed. Not just emotionally, but financially. So let me take you there for a second. You're sitting in a cozy cafe in Stockholm. At one table, there's a guy in a hoodie answering emails on his laptop. Nothing fancy. At another, a middle-aged woman quietly sips her black coffee. No designer bags, no loud phone calls, no show-offs. And yet, chances are both of them are millionaires. Stockholm is one of the top startup hubs in the world, a city known for producing billion-dollar unicorns. There's money here, a lot of it, but you wouldn't know just by looking. That's Lagom. It means not too much, not too little, just right. And it's not just a lifestyle thing, it's a financial mindset, one that shapes how Swedes spend, save, invest, and even talk about money. Nobody asks how much you make at a party, nobody brags about their salary, and yet, quietly, people are building serious wealth. In this video, we're diving into how the Lagom mindset can make you financially secure, and how you can use this same approach to find peace with your own money. Alright, let's start with the first piece of Swedish money wisdom that fits perfectly with the Lagom way of life. Come to terms with your expenses. And no, that doesn't mean you have to count every single coin or give up your morning coffee forever. It means know where your money is actually going. One thing I noticed while reading up on the Swedish lifestyle habits is that people there aren't necessarily extreme savers. They don't obsess over budgeting apps or turn their life into a spreadsheet. But they do pay attention. They know what they spend on, they track without judgment, they stay aware. It's a kind of quiet responsibility, one that doesn't come from fear but from balance. There's something really grounding about that. I used to avoid checking my bank account after a weekend out, just didn't want to face it. But when I finally started taking inventory regularly, I realized the stress wasn't from spending money, it was from not knowing where it was going. And that's what Lagom teaches. You don't need to cut everything out, you just need to understand your flow. Because once you get real with your expenses, not in a punishing way, but in a peaceful, honest way, you take back control. And control in this case is the first step toward financial security. Now, the next piece of Swedish Lagom approach to financial peace is something we've all heard before. But the way they do it is a little different. Start saving money, but do it in balance. See, Lagom doesn't mean being cheap or hoarding every cent. Swedes actually do spend money on good food, travel, meaningful experiences. They enjoy life, but they also build a safety net, quietly, consistently, and that's where the balance kicks in. The goal isn't to deprive yourself today just to be safe tomorrow. It's about living well now, without leaving your future self hanging. I used to think saving meant sacrificing, skipping fun, missing out, living in scarcity, but the Lagom mindset helped me shift that. It's more like saving without suffering, spending without spiraling. Many Swedes treat savings almost like self-respect, not a punishment, just something you naturally do because you care about your long-term peace. And when you have that buffer, that quiet little stash you can rely on, you walk through life with less fear. You're not stuck in survival mode. You're free to choose better. That's what Lagom gets right. It doesn't tell you not to enjoy your money, it just reminds you to leave some behind so you don't lose your balance down the line. Moving on to the next Lagom principle, and this one really shifted how I think about spending. Choose quality over quantity. It's so easy to get caught up in the cheap thrill of buying more, especially when everything's just a click away. You see those $5 t-shirts or a 3-for-1 deal on something you didn't even need, and boom, the cart's full. But in Sweden, the Lagom mindset slows that down. People there don't chase more, they go for better. Instead of 5 shirts that fade after 2 washes, they'll invest in one or two that lasts for years. Fewer items, higher quality, less waste, and honestly, less clutter in your head too. I've tried this myself, and not just with clothes, appliances, tech, furniture, even food. When you stop chasing volume and start choosing things that actually hold up, you end up spending less in the long run. Plus, there's something really charming about owning less but loving what you have. That's what Lagom is about. Not deprivation, just intention. And in a world where overconsumption is almost expected, making fewer but smarter purchases, that's a small, quiet act of financial freedom. Alright, here's another part of the Lagom mindset that really hit home for me. Spending money smart. Whether you're doing well financially or just getting by, this principle stays the same. Don't waste what doesn't need to be wasted. In Sweden, it's not about how much you have, it's about how thoughtfully you use it. Take something as simple as food. A lot of Swedes prefer cooking at home, not just because it's cheaper, but because it's more intentional. You cook once, eat twice. Leftovers go in tomorrow's lunchbox. Nothing fancy, just efficient. And look, I've been guilty of the opposite, ordering takeout after a long day, telling myself I deserve it, even when it wasn't in the budget. But honestly, those habits add up fast, and not just in dollars, in energy, in clutter, in low-key stress. The Lagom way doesn't shame spending, it just nudges you to pause, think, and ask, is there a smarter way to do this? And often there is. Spending smart doesn't mean cutting joy, it means finding a rhythm where your money actually supports your life, instead of quietly draining it. Alright, let's wrap this up with one final Swedish habit that ties the whole Lagom approach together. Record your expenses. Now, I know, it sounds a bit dry, maybe even a little over-controlling, but here's the thing. If you don't actually know where your money's going, how can you ever hope to change anything? In Sweden, a lot of people casually track their spending, not in a stressful way, but in a really practical, calm way. Many banking apps automatically categorize purchases, so it's easy to see if you're spending more on eating out than you realized, or if your subscriptions are piling up quietly in the background. And you don't need fancy tools either. Even just jotting things down on paper for a few weeks can be surprisingly eye-opening. I've done it myself, and I'll be honest, the first time I tracked everything, I was shocked. Not because I was wildly overspending, but because I was spending on things I didn't even value. Things I wouldn't have missed if I just paused to look. That's what this Lagom habit helps with. It's not about judging yourself, it's about being aware. Because once you know where your money's going, you start spending it with a lot more clarity. And that clarity, that's where financial peace really begins. So yeah, that's the Swedish Lagom way of thinking about money. Not too much, not too little, just right. It's not a budget plan, it's not a get-rich system. It's a mindset that makes space for both financial stability and mental peace at the same time. If you enjoyed this, you'll probably want to check out another video we did that explores a completely different culture's take on money, how Jewish wisdom can help you achieve financial freedom. It's filled with timeless insights and practical ideas, just like this one, but from an entirely different lens. And of course, if you want more content like this, human, thoughtful, and actually useful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got more videos coming soon that connect money with meaning. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it Lagom.